Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hi, welcome everybody. Thanks for showing up. And yeah, thanks for showing up. I know the invite came out late and I was a little off my schedule, and thanks to our wonderful mentor, Patty. She sent me a text today. So, yay!
Yeah.
Yay. Thanks, Patty. Okay.
Glad to help. Part of
So
my job.
so I just want to say awesome, awesome job at our big meeting, you guys. Just great job. You guys have done so much hard work and really presented everything. Um, Kudos. I really appreciate it. All right. So down to business tonight. Just to review, charting our future, building for success. Any questions before we get started? No? Oh,
So, just what's the next step?
okay. All right. And thanks, Patty, for all your mentoring. Thanks for getting the meeting together tonight. So remember, you can do anything, but not everything. Don't be a cowgirl. Cowgirls are great, but not here. And I can't tell you what a pleasure it is to work with you all in this team. We're awesome. You guys are awesome. And remember, just to review, if you need anybody's email or phone number in our group, you can come here, or you can go to the Dropbox to get information. And again, thanks everybody. So we are in stage 2. So timeline for stage 2. And Patty, I went to look at the replay of the big meeting the other night, and I didn't see it there to get dates. So
You didn't see what there,
the replay of the
right?
consortium.
Oh yeah, because it wouldn't load before I left, so it
Oh,
isn't up there.
okay.
So you didn't miss it. It wasn't there.
Okay.
Apparently, I don't know if it's something to change with YouTube, but it wouldn't let me put up 2 hours. I split it, and then I didn't have a chance to do it before I left. I've been out of town at the dental
All right. Okay.
economics conference out in so yeah.
Yeah. How was that?
It was interesting. The hotel was under construction, and thank God it was under construction, or I would have really considered it a complete dump. Okay, it was a complete dump. No matter what, it was bad. It was really it was a Marriott, but boy, did it need an update. And it was just, yeah. But the meeting itself, it was smaller than I expected, but interesting crowd, younger too. Younger than I might have expected. I'm not even sure why I expected anything in particular because I'd never been to that meeting. But yeah, so it was interesting. It was interesting. A lot of people got screwed up with the weather too, getting there.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's been lots of crazy weather. So the next big meeting that we have, the big consortium.
Our group meeting, our next DCC. Now, remember our resources, everybody. You can go onto the website, the Delco Algae website under events. It's there.
Yeah.
So our next DCC is on the 25th of August, which is our timeline now for what we have to do for this group.
Yeah. So we need to meet probably 1 or 2 more times before that. So
what do you base that on, Sam? What are you basing that on, that we need 1 or 2 more times?
Well, based on, this is our first meeting for stage 2. So we need to have at least one more meeting before the 25th. And
Oh, but why? What is I think somebody already said, what is our purpose of stage 2?
it is to do these things. It's to solidify our coalition partners and contact them about co-submission, putting their name on the submission, and getting their input on what votes we want to submit, whether it be screening or risk assessment, and the verbiage on that. And then the people, organizations, experts, survivors to reach out to get them on board to testify. That is our next, those are our steps for stage 2.
So why would that only take one meeting?
Well, I said 1 or 2. So how many meetings then? 3?
I don't know. What does the rest of the committee think?
I think more than 2, for sure.
Okay.
Why?
I think that's a lot of work to accomplish in 1 or 2 meetings. That's just my thought on it.
Okay. Anybody else?
Well, I think the verbiage is going to take the longest, getting what we're going to, break down.
Yeah.
So it depends.
Well, the
on how
verbiage
it-
comes after we meet with the partners. I mean, that's one
Right.
of the things that we talked about, that it's important that we don't come up with the verbiage on our own and then ask other people to sign on to it. We want to have an idea and then join with other people so they can help us to formulate it. Susan, then review what you said happened with both Brian Hill and then your other guy from your committee. Just the name of it is in question, right?
Yeah, they both had totally different ideas. Brian didn't think that we should use head and neck in there, just keep it oropharyngeal cancer. And Dr. Nemechek, who's the ENT head and neck oncology surgeon trained at MD Anderson, believes head and neck should be in there, and possibly the wording of tumor risk assessment. So really 2 totally different thoughts and reasons why from 2 very important people that want to be a part of it, very knowledgeable people. So yeah, that's what Patty's saying. That we not get that verbiage yet, but bring in all of their ideas and go from there. So talking about why don't we move forward and talk about these things, and then at the end we can kind of decide dates and times for meetings. Should we do that instead of getting stuck on how many meetings right now? Let's move forward. Is that all right with everybody? We'll kind of think about how many meetings after we talk about everything.
Great idea.
Okay. All right. So Patty, do you have any other historical information that's important for us to know moving forward tonight?
No, these are our slide set from another time. No, we already did that history lesson.
Okay. All righty. Good. Okay, so just a reminder, here's our groups. And again, great job last night or last week. Was it last week or the week before? I don't remember. Anyway, so here's a few potential partners that we have. And I know we had some more, and they were individuals that we had. There was like Eva Grazel. Does somebody have that list? I didn't find it.
Didn't Kim have it? Is Kim here? Wasn't Kim working on that?
No, Kim is not here. Kim is not here.
This is Angela. I have an Excel sheet, but I can't get to it because I'm driving and listening to you on the phone.
Okay.
So,
Is it in the Dropbox, Angela?
Susan, did you put it in the Dropbox?
It should be
You were
there.
going to do that for me last week.
It should be there.
Okay, I'll open the Dropbox. I'll open the Dropbox and I'll see if we have it there.
Some of the other individuals were like Jill Lippert and Catherine Gilmish.
Right.
Some of the people that are speakers that are.
Yeah, it's not in the Dropbox.
It's not? Well, I must not have accomplished that. I'll attempt that again. I wonder what happened to that.
Why is it, right, but is this, Lucy, are you not able to get into the Dropbox yourself, or being Angela? Because I give everybody access to the Dropbox.
Right, I can get in it, but I could not get in it with the Excel, and I had to use my husband's computer to get it over to Susan. It was just kind of a technical mess.
It was a mess, huh? Okay, all right.
But, so that was for last week's meeting.
Okay.
Okay, it looked to me like I had gotten it in there, but I guess not. So I'll look at that again. Okay, so resources, potential partners. Who do we have? Let's see. So we have Janet and Angela on with that group, right?
Yes.
Okay. So do you guys, how do you guys see, is Angela? I don't see her on.
Yep.
Angela's talking from her car.
Oh, so it won't show up on here. Okay. Okay. So do you guys want to, what we need to do for that, I think, tell me your thoughts, is from the last, when I asked Patty, like next steps, was to solidify these coalition partners, contact them, and reach out to them, let them know what we are doing, and bring them on as partners.
We need some official, I would be happy to if we have some official statement or that I know that I'm getting them the exact message I need to be getting them.
So you want some verbiage.
Right. So that we're all using the same thing, and then also we kind of, I guess Kim and I can decide between us, because a lot of the names were duplicates and we don't both want to do that. So
yeah,
that was good.
Okay. All right. So
but yeah, I need to know exactly what.
So do you guys want to, what do you?
So what I hear you saying then is so what you're saying is talking points would be helpful, so then we'd all be on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
So is that something we need to do tonight?
Sure, let's do that.
Fine.
So what do you guys think should be
That's a good idea.
Yeah, what do you guys think should be in those talking points?
Okay, before we do that, who's going to record this for us? Let's do some kind of, can we put it, Susan, can you talk and be on the screen at the same time, or do you need somebody else to do it for you? It's a question. There it comes.
All right. What are some suggestions for talking points that you guys think are important?
Exactly what we are proposing for the verbiage for the code.
We don't have that yet because we don't know that yet, that we want to co-develop it with them.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember you saying that. Well, then some kind of steering language about what we hope to propose or would like
Don't
to.
we need to start with who we are
Yes.
and what we're trying to do?
Yes, I was
Sure.
just going to say that. They have to know who we are and what we're about and why we're actually wanting them to be involved.
So who are we? Who wants to describe that?
We are Dental Codology Consortium.
I don't think that has any meaning in it. Why don't you let them do it, Susan?
Okay.
Somebody else besides students. Who are we? What is this group about? And it doesn't have to be informal words. Just start talking.
We're a work group trying to get some dental coding for oral cancer screenings or
Who was that? You're on a roll. You're doing a great job.
yeah. I lost the other word for oh my gosh. How oral cancer screening, but oh my God, I can't think of the word.
Risk assessment.
Risk assessment. Thank you. That's it. I think just developing a risk assessment.
For who?
To use in clinical practice so that we can so that we can have metrics and trying to get, making sure that dental hygienists and dentists are actually, having these on their health histories or a special risk assessment to try to determine any early signs or risks, or just what it means, risk assessment, early signs of a cancer before they're actually possibly found in a screening. Now that's me rambling.
So increase early detection.
But that's how this is brainstorming, guys.
Okay.
Am I hearing increase early detection?
Early detection before it's actually, seen in a screening.
Right.
Very early. That's the whole purpose, is to get, because what we said, that by the time we see it in the mouth, it could be stage 3, stage 4, and we're trying to catch it at an early stage.
I think also it's important to recognize that the coding needs to be up to date with what's going on now. And that's what we're trying to accomplish, because when was this code, or there's not even an existing code with this because it's tied into the intra and extra oral exam, and we want a separate exam for that. Does anybody know when that code was even made?
Which code?
The intra and extra oral code, like when?
There isn't an inter extra oral code. At the time of let me go back to the history then. At the time when the adjunctive code for the Zolscope and Oral ID, those type devices, although neither of them were invented were approved at the time of the code was created, was in the early 2000s. At that time, people submitted, there were some other interest groups that submitted to have a CDT code added for oral head and neck oral cancer screening. What the coding committee decided at that time was, rather than having its own separate code, it should be part of a routine part of every evaluation. And they added language to each of the evaluation codes that, the comprehensive evaluation codes that include oral cancer screening, what's the word though that's added there, Susan? As indicated.
Yeah.
Whatever that means.
Like it's only indicated at certain times. Yeah.
Yep.
Only on a
That's
full
something
moon in the
about-
third
They need to
quarter.
take that word out, those words out.
Mm-hmm.
How about update codes to reflect new advances in screening technology or techniques?
That's awesome.
We have another suggestion. Susan, I have the thing that I sent you this week from Kathy Forbes up. Do you want me to take the screen and show them?
Yep.
Okay. This Kathy Forbes was looking for something else, and she found this, and I hope it's big enough for you guys to see, in the CDT Companion. And what this is that in the CDT Companion, if you're not familiar with it, they have these coding scenarios. In other words, this is what happens, what do you do? So a little bit like case studies. What was interesting about this is in the language, and this is from ADA themselves, they call this an enhanced examination. That might be something for us to consider, because it says right here, as you see I'm pointing, a dentist may decide patients with increased cancer risk factors should receive an enhanced oral cancer examination, one that is more extensive than the routine oral cancer screening and may include the use of other diagnostic aids, okay? But what we could advocate for is an enhanced oral cancer examination to have its own code. So the oral cancer language would stay the same in the evaluation codes, but that might be the language because, see, they're already using it right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the ideas.
So, Patty, what's interesting is, a couple years ago when ADA came out with their oral cancer, quote, protocol, they did not recognize the adjunct devices, and they said that they do not recognize these.
There's a reason why. If I'm going to pull up the evidence-based portal of ADA, and they have a position paper on that in their clinical practice guidelines. This is where bringing this stuff together makes a difference. In the clinical practice guidelines about oral cancer guidelines, it says in here that basically they believe the research, and this is where the quality of the evidence, blah, 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 this is all kinds of, if you're in the EBD world, you get this. But this is what they came up with, and they don't believe that the science is there enough for those adjunctive screening devices to support them via the expert panel and the evidence-based guidelines. So that's where that comes from.
So that'll be something that we'll be, in my mind, be looking at, because it's there already in that code for the adjunct device, but then they don't recommend it. The gold standard.
Right, but here's the thing though, there's the key though, is their thinking. No clinically evident lesion or symptoms, don't do nothing.
Yeah.
Right there.
Right.
That's where, this is where too we might challenge.
Yeah.
So, but this means they got a panel, and if you go into, and it might be important for all of you to look at this, because this is also might be part of the buzzsaw that, well, I don't know, could be in our favor, because maybe because they don't support the adjunctive advices, yet we have the statistics to show that the numbers aren't going down. Wouldn't that be an argument for having an enhanced oral cancer examination?
Yeah.
Based on risk assessment, which brings us back to the idea of risk.
Right.
What does everybody else think? Liz, what do you think?
I think it's awesome. Absolutely. I think, and not only that, I think that with some of the research studies that I pulled out that's in the Dropbox, it breaks down the cost between private sector insurance, Medi-Cal, and Medicare, and how much it costs to actually treat. And when you start going into radiation and chemo and all three types of treatments, how it just gets even more and more expensive. It's like upwards of $150,000 per patient.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't understand why they wouldn't want to. I mean, I think it's right there in the very beginning. What you just, I'm going to look that up on the ADA because that.
Yeah. The easiest way to get to that is just do EBD ADA and it comes up. Okay.
Okay.
That's the simplest way. Yeah. But again, one of the things that we look at when we figure out our wording is you look for stuff that already has been identified by ADA and or other interest groups as language that they are comfortable with. Now, what's interesting about the CDT companion book, the CDT companion book is a completely ADA publication. This is where after the coding committee decides, the CMC decides what codes they want, then ADA basically takes it from there. They assign the numbers, they assign the section they're in, they create this language and all of this stuff. So this is where, you know, again, that ADA as a partner is, you know, again, whether or not they're going to partner is another thing, but, you know, understanding where they're coming from. Mm-hmm. Okay? I think that this increased cancer risk factors is something also. Again, does anybody currently have a systematized way of assessing risk? We have some general stuff. We have a lot of them are about late stage, but does anybody actually have a systematized way of doing risk assessment for oral cancer in the similar way that we have for Canberra?
I'm working on it.
You're working on it what? Personally?
Yes.
Or are you working on finding it?
I'm working on it, putting it together. That's
well, okay, there's a difference though. This is where creating one ourselves is one thing, but what the difference is that the Canberra thing was already accepted and research-based before it came before the committee for codes.
Right.
You see the difference there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because you can come up with something, but who's it going to be recognized?
Right.
Now, maybe that's another way that we connect. If we had something, and then we went to this, you know, this group and that group and the other cancer support groups and say, hey, this is what we think, you know, is this something that you would accept? Now, again, that process might take longer than just a month for sure, but, you know, it might be a multi-year thing.
Yeah.
But it's still something, but I think this line right here, again, increased cancer factors should receive enhanced oral cancer examination. There's a powerful statement right there. Mm-hmm. And this down here, there is not an independent code for enhanced oral cancer examination, but there's a code that can be used when you're using this stuff, okay? But what we're talking about is, and that could even be the argument, is that, you know, even though there's a code for this, you have another paper that doesn't support it. So what we believe is that we need to have an enhanced oral cancer examination. Mm-hmm. Yay, nay.
Yes.
Yay.
Yes. Yay.
Yes.
Yes. All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Janet, your microphone is on. There we are.
Yeah, I had to unmute.
But see, that might be what we do is we take this kind of thing. We're working on talking points, right? Yeah. And we take that kind of information even to the other organizations. This is what we want you to help us to figure out. Should the language be oral cancer screening, enhanced oral cancer screening, or do you think that language should be something else? Do you see how we develop the talking points that way too?
Yep.
Can I interject for just a second? I do have a connection with the public health. One of the key groups that we should actually get a hold of, and he's a member, and he directed me to somebody. I don't know if Patty, if you've heard of Snow DDS.
Of what?
Snow DDS. SNODDS.
Mm-mm.
It's used in the public health world, and they have a diagnostic terminology book.
Oh, Snow did, right?
Yes.
Yeah, oh, SNODENT, that's the diagnostic coding companion that ADA wants dentistry to use. I actually have a copy of it.
So I was thinking
Oh,
maybe that might give us some guidance as to, I did look it over just a little bit, but I of course don't have the whole thing.
Right. This is where it gets, I think it's a great idea to look at, again, because that's ADA publication that they wanted to push for a long time is the SNODENT. And there was the SNODDS. Yeah, I'd have to look it up. It'd take me some while to dig into this stuff to find it. But what that is, again, if we can use their language, thing is that we've got to be careful is this is what happened this year, is what is said this year, or the feeling of it this year, and I think it's true, is that when I say this year, I meant at the committee this year, is there were a bunch of codes, including ours, that were trying to make treatment codes into diagnosis codes. They're not diagnosis codes. The statement was even made at the committee this year is, well, when we get SNODENT, which, they've been talking about that since 1996, I think. Okay? So when we get it, but to also bring that in as part of the evidence and part of the background, even your own blah, blah, blah. So.
Okay.
I'm going to give you the screen back, Susan. Maybe. Oh. Sort of. Talk among yourselves while I figure this out. What the heck is
There we go.
Oh, it says Susan now. I'm so glad it says Susan. Now instead of Patty and Patty. Okay, you got it back, Susan. You want to pull our talking points back up? Who was it that asked for talking points? Brought this idea up.
I did, Angela.
Angela, that is awesome. That is really, because I think that's going to really, I'll be honest with you guys. I'm using this group because I didn't plan to be a mentor, but things changed with Noelle Paschke, so she couldn't do it. But you guys are the stars. You keep coming up with these great ideas, and then I bring them to the other groups. So keep it going, ladies. Keep it going. Susan, you have the screen?
Yep, I do.
So bring it up, because again, it helps us to visualize what we're writing down here. Because my thought is that if we write them down and then we share it between us in the next couple of days to solidify it.
Isn't it showing?
Huh?
Do you see the top?
No, it says it.
I have it up there.
Anybody else see Susan's screen?
Okay. Now?
It's buffering.
There you go. Now you got it.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so through that last part of the discussion, you didn't write anything down?
What do you guys want me to write from that?
What should she write down?
That we're going to take some language from the ADA enhanced code and try to work that into our plan for a talking point.
For the CDC companion.
Yes.
That's okay.
CDC
As well as the evidence-based stuff, right?
And
ADA.
the evidence-based companion code. We're not going to reinvent the wheel. We're just going to take their things and
Put them back out.
work them into our
Right.
way of thinking.
I think that what you just said was, whoever said that, I'm still not recognizing everybody's voices. Anyway, it's really, really important because part of this also is stroking their egos. In that, it's like, we don't want to reinvent the wheel. And since you're the experts on it, we really would appreciate your assistance and your expertise in helping us to discover what might be the best way to do this. I'm sorry. The game, guys. It's the game.
So Patty, it's Rhoda. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So my mother-in-law, before I married my loving husband, said to me, no matter what you do, let Alex know that it's his idea.
Yes, exactly, Rhoda. Exactly.
So
That's
I
the
have
game.
3 boys, and that's what I use with all 3 boys. Their idea, it's the best idea.
It
Yes,
works
it is.
on your boss and employers too.
Yep.
And to be honest, that's what I'm trying to do in a lot of ways with all of our groups, because when someone has a say in it or feels like it's their idea, guess what? They run with it. They run with it. Okay? What else?
Let's see.
Did you want to use the enhanced code and expound on that? Use that language as a separate code? Is that what you said, Patty?
I don't know. It's you guys. I'm just showing you some stuff.
I don't know. I'm asking because of that evidence base, the way it looked on that. It said, okay, do nothing. And then when you have all of the, let's say, risk assessments, then you do something. Shouldn't there be already an enhanced code? Period?
Yeah. And that's where, let me drop this sucker right into our Dropbox. I'm taking it, the chairside guide for oral cancer. I'm going to put it right in our Dropbox right now, as well as the other thing. Well, the other thing that I showed you as far as the book, it's in the Dropbox already. Okay? I send it to Susan the other day that way.
And there's a lot of survivors who have testimony that they had symptoms long before a lesion was ever discovered, and they had and risk, family history or a lot of other things. So that's one area where we could bring in too, when we bring in for testimony is the survivors.
The other thing too about talking points, our talking points are not guidelines. You have to say all this. Talking points are there for when you have a conversation with somebody that you can kind of have something to fall back on. And when I say it that way, and where I'm going with this is, sometimes, if it's an initial phone call, that's one thing. But if we're actually you could do it in an email, or you could do it in a personal, but we could actually show them these things that we have found. This is where perhaps, these are with our research, we've discovered blah, blah, blah. Now, we also need to, whoever is on our list for these coalitions, to look at what they have in publication themselves before approaching them. Because Angela, can you name off one of the organizations, just any of them that you were thinking?
Oh,
the
oral pathology.
Oral pathology.
Probably the Perio Association.
What is it? The Oral Pathology Association, American Academy of Oral and Maxillofacial Pathology. Okay. Here we go. Don't wait for me. I'm just fooling around while you guys are talking.
Okay. Does anybody have anything else to add? Rhoda, what did you say? I don't think I added what you said.
Well, you already have it on there, that
Do I?
the ADA enhanced code, but use it as a separate code. That's what I thought. But I don't know if they can create a separate code underneath what that was there.
Okay. Anybody else? What else?
Yeah, I had just said about update the codes to reflect the new advances in screening techniques or technology, whichever word.
You talked about using the fact that the numbers of oral cancer cases still are increasing with the codes the way they are now, with it being kind of by choice per individual instead. So looking at solving that problem, addressing it actually better than what we're addressing it now.
Okay. Anything else? A lot of good stuff here.
What would we want to know from them? This is about TEL. What do we want to know? What do we want to learn? That's not something to write down or something I'm asking you guys.
Well, we want to know their thoughts on this. You know, what are their thoughts on the risk assessment or screening and verbiage? You know, just what their stand on is on this. What their stand is on this. Their expert opinions.
And many of them may already have procedures or what we couldn't get from ADHA, something in there.
Policies.
Yeah.
What are their policies? That was great.
What's your policy? What their research has shown?
I don't know what the heck I just happened to get into, guys, but this is really interesting. It's called the U.S. Preventive Services Task Force, and the description, this is the federal government thing. It says the U.S. Preventive Services Task Force makes recommendations about the effectiveness of specific preventive care services for patients without related signs or symptoms. And this one is specifically on oral cancer.
Mm.
Where is that, Patty?
Yeah.
I have no idea how I came up with this one. You know what? Let me take the screen and show you what it looks like. I mean, I literally just was screwing around. I don't even remember what I was looking for. Oh, I was looking for professional association. Can you see it? Screenshot it, right? So I can screen it, because So it's the USPSTF. And what's can you see it?
Yeah.
Make it a little bigger.
Final recommendation.
So what's interesting is you read down farther, it says detection. It found inadequate evidence that oral cancer examination accurately detects oral cancer. Inadequate evidence in screening for oral cancer treatment of a screen detected oral cancer improves morbidity or mortality. Wow. No idea.
What does it, wait a minute, what did that say? Go back.
It says that there's not evidence that shows that screening is making a difference, but I don't know, again, we're looking at this. I really have to see what the heck this one's all about.
Wow. Well, I know Brian Hill will have something to say about that and information.
Hmm.
But this is kind of data that we have to look up. Know what's out there. But part of it too is, and I know that because I've read it on Oral Cancer Foundation and other places, one of it is because of this inconsistency and how it's done, what's done, that sort of thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Let's face it, yeah, we do oral cancer screening, and then they tell you, they stick out your tongue, and that's all they do.
Yeah.
Right.
And they call it a screening.
Right. Or they just use an adjunct.
Right.
Or they tell you.
Not even an adjunct. I think that's it. I think, though, that the use of adjuncts is not that high, first of all. But it's I don't know. Anyway, but this is the kind of research we still have to do, because we also want to look at, we don't have to only think of dental organizations. Does the Pew Foundation or the DentaQuest, would they be in favor of helping us? Now, DentaQuest is the, what do you call it? The foundation that is from Delta Dental.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Duh. I can put the link right in here. Maybe. Okay. I just put the link in the chat box for you guys to go on that thing too to get it. Okay. Which means it's also going to be in the chat list, Susan, that you'll have on your computer chat box.
Okay.
All right. Back to you, Susan.
All righty.
I gave you the screen back.
Okay. See it? Can you see it?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Anything else, you guys,
Yes, ma'am.
that you want to add? Yeah.
Thanks, Liz. Liz is thanking me. No, you say. Okay. Link. Oh, Facebook page.
Anything else you guys want to add to talking points? Nope, that's it. Does anybody want to raise their hand and say they'll write up a little brief talking points, kind of put all this together in a concise form?
Well, actually, more likely take it apart.
Oh, yeah. Anybody?
Well, this is Michelle. I can do it as long as somebody, double checks.
Michelle, all you're going to do is a draft for all the rest of us.
Yep.
Sure.
We're just going to take this and do it as a draft, because we all need to agree on it in order for us,
Right.
and not
Okay.
everybody here is on our committee. So just do it as the first draft, and then we'll send it around for everybody to give their input and thoughts and ideas. Because sometimes it just, it starts to have something in front of us, and then from there,
Yeah.
we can think through it. And we can also determine on what we find is working. Now, the next is that we have all these groups, apparently, but who are they? Where are they at? Who's going to do that? Isn't that part of what we need to determine next?
Yep.
I would think so, yeah. So you want this done ASAP?
Okay. Thank you, Michelle.
No pressure, Michelle.
There's
It's
not.
only bullet points, babe.
Yeah, I know.
No pressure. There's no right or wrong. So, okay. Now, what was that you said, Patty? Oh, who's gonna, about organizations?
What's our next step? What else do we need to do? We started talking about that we were going to, it was time to start contacting groups, but at one point we said that there's a list. We need to look at that list and who's going to do what when, which also needs to be looked at, right? Angela, right? Angela, do you remember vaguely how many there are?
No. Well, there's probably 10 or 15, but the reason I wanted it in the Dropbox is so everybody could add who they know that could go in it.
Okay.
So people that weren't on the resources, they might, it's not a comprehensive list. And Kim and I don't even have the same list. But it was a start so that other people, like I put a head of our pathology department at OU. Well, state you all are from, you may have somebody in a position that would be a good person to contact and stuff like that.
So can maybe we ask you and Kim to get together and figure that out next about, looking at those lists to bring them together on what we might have?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's.
What kind of dates are we setting on this stuff, guys? Because this is what determines the timeline.
Yeah. So that, so our next meeting, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. 5 weeks until the 25th. So, and I'm gonna, the 28th next week, and I'm not able to meet, but you guys could still meet. You don't need me. And August 4th, 11th, and 18th are good, but we might want to meet next week. What do you guys think about when the next meeting should be?
Well, I can have the draft for the talking points done by, and get it out to you guys tomorrow. So, because I think you're going to want those before you actually start conversation with these potential partners.
Yeah, I just think it's important because they will know each other too, and if they are ever discussing that they talk to us, they need to know what page we were on, and it be the same, basically the same story.
Okay.
Okay, well, did we decide when we're going to meet next? Next week or on the 4th?
Did I just get assigned something?
Yeah, I got to sign something too.
Yeah, I didn't volunteer for that, and I didn't say I'd do that. Nice job, nice try, but no cigar. I already just gave that information.
What's
Okay?
that?
I'm the mentor. I'm not the worker bee on this one, guys. I'm managing all of the committees.
Okay, so I'm going to put that list in Dropbox from Liz. And then Kim and Liz are going to put the list together and decide who's going to contact whom as far as the organization.
No, Angela.
It's Angela.
Oh,
It's
sorry.
Angela.
Thank you.
No, it's okay. I would love to help, whatever I can do.
Okay. All right. Angela and Liz. Okay.
No.
What?
Okay, so after they get the list together. No, so my next question, sorry, I might be jumping the gun. You get the list together, then they start calling, or we still have to do the talking points before
They're just going to decide.
all of that, right?
They're going to get the list together and they're going to look at it, get it all pulled together, all these different lists, and who's going to decide who's going to contact who and who the contact people are in the organizations.
I'm not sure how they can decide who's going to contact who, because it's not going to be just the two of them function. It needs to be everybody on the committee needs to take part of this.
Yeah.
So I think they can put the list together and the contacts, but then from there, we bring that back next week. We work on the talking points. Michelle's going to do those, send us the rest of those, and then we bring them back next week. Does that make sense?
Yep.
But can I interject? I can actually, since I'm not on that part, I can actually do the public health, the American Association of Public Health Dentistry, because I've already sort of put the feelers out for that.
That'd be awesome.
And remember, we had that discussion on our call last week on the call for everybody, that we know that the vaping group has also, the opioid vaping group is also contacting them. And that doesn't mean we shouldn't. I think we should, from a different direction. So go for it, is my watchword there. Okay?
I will try my best.
All right. You're not alone. We all have your back.
Okay. So we have talking points. We talked about the coalition partners, organizations. From our conversation, Patty, I have down here what codes, screening, risk assessment. That's kind of in our talking points. What do we want? And we're not going to.
Not sure what you're referring to, Susan.
And we're not going to decide that until we talk with our partners, whether we're going to call it cancer screening assessment.
Well, until we have some partners.
Right. So that's what I had on the agenda for tonight. And we pretty much got that covered. Anybody else have anything that they see we need to talk about tonight? Patty?
Would it make sense for somebody to be working on looking to see if there are any viable risk assessment systems out there?
Like what?
If there's any establishment, if any organization, we may not know, maybe it's out there and we don't know, if there's a viable risk assessment system that has been systematized in any way.
Sure.
Okay.
Who can do that? Who can look at that? Look for that. Like I said, you just saw what I was just screwing around and look what I happened onto. That's how this stuff ends up coming up. There's stuff out there, more out there than we realize.
Yeah.
This is not a new subject. This has been around for a long time. And often what happens in my experience is when you're looking for one thing, you find something else. Anybody have time to take that on? Janet?
Okay, let me just make sure I know what I'm doing. Looking for viable risk assessment, like what, like a rubric, like something like the Canberra type
Yeah, a
outline?
rubric would be perfect word for it. Perfect word.
Okay. All right, I can see if I can find anything. I don't know if there are any, but
Yeah, well, exactly.
I'll
I don't
see
think
what
any of us do, but maybe there are. That's what we need. But I think that, you know, maybe it might make sense too, Janet, when you're doing that, to keep track of how many places you looked over and over and over again, which is, again, part of the issue we have here, right? Because isn't the
Right.
issues that we have with the code as it currently is written is as indicated, okay? What indicates it? If we don't have a system for indicating it, then everybody can skate on not doing it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you, I've been doing a lot of temping recently, and I see docs come in and do exam. They don't even look at any, they only look for cavities, that's it. They're so focused on just decay.
Because that's where they make their money. Dentistry does not make money on oral cancer. I hate to say it that way, but if you think about it, dentistry makes zero money.
It's the bottom line.
God, that's just, I never thought of it quite that way myself since it just came out of my mouth. That's disgusting.
Yeah, because once they find it, they send the patient out to some specialist,
Yeah.
and it's nothing in your pocket.
Yeah, isn't that gross?
However,
Yeah, temping has really made
if they did it the right way,
me question
the right way, it would make them money because that's when those patients need them the most.
How so?
We need to remember.
Yeah, and they're going to be referred
to
to
be-
that's the doctor, saved my life or something,
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
we need to
PR for
remain a
them.
part of their team. We have to remain a part of their
Yep.
team. Their oral health, it doesn't get transferred. We have got to remain a part of their team and continue with their oral care all the way through treatment because they're not going to get the oral care at the cancer centers. They're going to get it. It's so important that we remain a part of their team.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, do you see here another discussion we have there?
Yep.
Yep. The other part, though, is it's still, I'm doing this to be, I know it sounds crass, but it's the business reality. Tell me as a practitioner why I should take even more time at something that's going to bring zero money into my practice.
Because it could take your practice from you if you don't.
Yeah, tell me how many people ever got sued for it and lost their practice.
I've had one dentist down the street from me lose his practice.
Yeah, they settle.
I get that, but do you hear another statistic? Do you hear another statistic that we may need to come up with?
Yeah. I'll contact.
How many practitioners have lost their practice from not finding oral cancer in time?
I think,
That's a good statistic.
Yeah, talking with Brian Hill, more of them end up settling. So that's
Sure they do.
Yeah.
But the flip side of that is what happens to the practice and how they gain when you do find something and how many patients are actually referred to the practice.
There you go.
right.
There you go.
Right.
Now you got to remember, this is still, unfortunately, we want to get all on our high horses about it. It's good, it's great, it's important. Yes, that's all true. But there's also the business to run, and there's also, when we're in the coding world, it is the aspect of business from the carrier's point of view, from the practitioner's point of view. Let's not forget that part. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
It's also appealing to people where they live.
But I think that part is what we're helping with by giving them a code so they can actually possibly recoup money for the time to do that oral cancer screening, that head and neck.
There you go. That's what I was trying to get you to.
So,
That's the
another,
importance of the code. Yes, it's for metrics. Yes, it's for early detection, but it's also a potential moneymaker that they currently aren't getting compensated for. And it does take time to do it right.
Mm-hmm.
and so another potential partner might be the liability companies that cover dentists, how much they are paying out when these cases are settled out of court.
And why not the National Association of Dental Plans itself? Because again, they're
Now, what'd you
they're
say, Patty?
paying out. Yep.
I lost what you said.
Again, don't forget to go back. Who's on the committee themselves, who could be potential partners for us, and potential, when I say partners, I mean somebody will co-submit it with us.
Yeah. Okay.
Because, boy, we get those. That's a powerful, even more powerful game. Remember when I was talking about that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We got a voting member. We already have a vote, one vote in our favor.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Good stuff.
Are we good?
Good stuff, you guys. Anything else? No. Patty?
The thunder and lightning is awful.
I'm good. Everybody knows what they're going to do?
Yep.
Yes.
Got it.
And so, Susan, what we're saying then is next Sunday we will have a meeting to bring all this together.
Okay.
Correct.
I won't be able
Okay.
to
That's
attend
what I
that
heard.
meeting.
Right?
But you
Who
guys,
wants to take lead of that meeting? I will help you. Come on, who's going to help? Who wants to do this? You don't have, I will help you send out the stuff. It's just that, you know, it needs to be somebody other than me to lead it.
it's easy, guys. Just don't, just as long as you don't forget.
So I would do it, but I'm going to be gone. I'm going to UR, and so I'm leaving that Saturday. I would totally do it.
No, not next week. That's not that next week. Believe me, I know you are, Jason. It's not them.
I know, but I'm leaving early.
Oh, are you? Okay.
Yep. So I'll be there.
Oh, you're going out for extra time? Cool.
Yes, of course.
Okay, so this is another decision point. Do we then have to wait until the following week?
I am at church until 7, so I barely can get on. When it was just the other group and I just had to listen, it was easy to do, but I can't miss church every Sunday night to get off by 7. So this is Angela. So I'm sorry, I'm out. I can call in, but I can't be a moderator person.
So what's the choice to the group? Do we skip next week and wait till Susan's back on the 4th?
I think we should skip a week only because I have a graduation party on Sunday too that I have no idea what time I'll be back. So
There we go.
Yeah, the 4th will be better for me too.
There we go. I think we have a viable group decision. What do you think, Susan?
All right. So
Aye.
August 4th it is.
August 4th.
That doesn't mean we can't, you know, send emails back and forth, et cetera, in between, right?
Right.
hey,
And how many will be under one roof? Michelle, will you?
I will.
I will.
No, I'm not. I've never gone
Okay.
to that.
Janet?
No, I went to ADHA this year. I only do one or the other.
Okay. All right. So Liz and Rhoda and Patty and I. Okay. Okay. So
I'll be there. This is Angela.
Angela, awesome. All right. So next meeting is August 4th, 7 p.m. Central. Great meeting, you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
great and great and
Thanks, Susan. Thanks, everybody.
thank you. Have a good week.
Thanks, thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Yes,
Good
you
night.
too.
All right,
Good
have a
week.
good week.
Good 2 weeks. Have fun at on yeah, under one roof. I can never remember the acronym for that.
You are.
You are.
You are.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody.
Olympic
Good night.
University of
you.
Rochester.
Okay.
Okay. Bye now.
Bye-bye.